this particular bow we're making today, we are going to have short tails on those. These type of bows, we like to call them funky bows because the tails will go up and the tails will go down. And I'm going to show you on this video how to do that step by step so you can do this really easy for your next project. So we're going to start off with this red and white stripe. One of the neatest things you want to do with this type of bow is I'm going to use this on a door hanger, so I don't want the actual tails to be long, blocking all the words on the door hanger. I don't want it to hide it. So I'm going to take and make these short tails so we can kind of control that. My go-to length is 8 inches. Feel free to play with that if you want to do it shorter or longer. You have all that control when you're making your bow. But you can see here already I've got my first tail going up. Now I'm going to come in and do my loops, and I'm going to keep these loops at about 7 inches. This is a pretty big project we're making, so I like these to be nice and bold. So I'm going to loop over my loops here, and we're going to do 2 of these, 2 on either side. So 7 on the left, and I'm going to twist, and you can see I'm fluffing it out while I'm doing it. That means I'm positioning this right up where it needs to be. Okay, and I'm going to come in here at 8 inches also. We'll trim that off, and then we're going to dovetail it. Now, if you're off a little on your measurement, it's no big deal. You can always come back and trim these shorter or longer. But the key is I want to watch those twists as I'm bringing it all into the middle, okay? So now we're ready to put on our next layer of ribbon. And I am going to use this pretty like formal swirl. This goes so good with our design we're going to do today. So I'm going to take and trim these. I'm dovetailing them, so once I fold it, I just cut that up from the cut up. So I get that nice little V shape. And we call that a dovetail. It's also like a chevron. And I'm going to go a little shorter. As you move in towards the center of the bow, you generally like to shorten the length of the loop. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to go out to 6 inches here and 6 inches here. And you guys, what are you making special for yourself this holiday? You've got to be doing something special. Or what's in the works? If you haven't had a chance to do it yet, what is your plans? Okay, and this time I'm going to put 3 of these because I want to get a good pop of this swirl and white. I think it's just a nice little, a little bit more formal kind of look, a little bit more, you know, classical. I cannot wait to see what your plans are to make for yourself, because y'all deserve something beautiful too for your home. If you haven't made something for yourself yet, you've got to. You've got to mix that in the mix. We always get so busy doing our own businesses that we don't even have time. See? 3 on either side. I love it. My tails are still working opposite, up and down. Now we're going to come in with this stripe. This stripe is pretty cool because it's got this little bit of iridescent string running in there, and I love that. This one's going to run right on top of our other stripe. I'm going to bring it in and twist it. And we're going to put 2 of these in. And now these are even shorter at 5 inches. So you can see how we're working in towards the middle, a little at the time. I love it. Making bows does not have to be hard. You just take your time, you watch those folds, you twist, you scrunch, and you just build it up. And it's so easy to build it up from the back to the front and get this nice look. Okay, and I'm going to dovetail this too. And this is just so pretty. Oh, my little piece fell in there, but I love it. Now I'm going to finish out the center with just a little finishing touch. And we're going to use what we do in design school quite a bit. In design school, we use what we call a bow tie in the center. You just make a loop of the ribbon, and we're going to make it a little bigger than I think I need it to start with. And then you just overlap these and make your own little bow tie here, okay? Fold it on itself, and then you just gather it right up in the middle. Now this is that really nice ribbon, so you want to crunch it a little. Okay, and once I have my bow tie, I run it right up the middle, and it always gives me a really, really polished, finished look to my bow. Look at that! I mean, that's a bow like a pro. Y'all, you could do bows like pros as long as you're hanging out with me. I'm not going to leave you hanging, literally. I'm I'm going to keep you going. And my design school students know it. They have the videos where they can walk through each step of each bow on every project, and I teach them why we use those bows on different projects and what we're looking for when we want to create those. So this part, we're going to fluff it up and get everybody in their own position. Okay, so they've got to get in their own zones. And I love when you do this, you're going to see your bow all of a sudden come alive right in your own hand. Just keep squishing it in the center and hold it tight while you fluff it up. And the key is this. This is the key. The key is that dimension. That's what you're looking for. We want dimension in our bows. We want dimension in our floral designs. Dimension is key. And if you decide to sell your work and you want to learn how to do that, I'm here to help you and teach you how to do that also. But in order to get top dollar, you need dimension. So start kind of getting that as a mindset that you want to work towards that too in your work. All right, now I need to attach on the back here my cable tie. That's going to allow me to put it on my finished project, and then I'm going to get that nice tight. We'll trim this off. And I like to finish off my bows with I like to add one of the ribbons back to the center. And in this case, I think this stripe is just perfect because it's just going to bring our eye right to the middle of the bow. So I just cut a little strip and I'm going to fold it on itself. Make a nice little strip that runs down the middle, and you can watch those stripes and decide how you want to lay it out. Like I'm going to put that white stripe right down the middle, and that little detail always finishes out my bow so stinking pretty. I love that. And I'm going to come in and tie it tight. Ah! Don't throw it. Don't throw it across. Trim off those edges. And you've done it. You've made a gorgeous Christmas bow. This one we're going to use on a project we're making together, but you can see how easy it was put together. Hey Blue Marinos, we're getting ready to play with our newest kit. I'm going to show you how to pull it together. It starts off with this killer sign, and it's an oversized, beautiful, merry and bright sign that is going to scream from your front door how pretty it is. And I love this for the holiday season. We have already tied a bow to go with this project, so if you need it to learn how to tie the bow, just ask for the link to that video here. And no, it's always going to be also provided in the kit link to this whole kit, so you can see the bow video as well. But I'm going to show you how to put this one together. These are great for beginners or projects you want to do quickly. If you're thinking about doing some projects that the grandkids can make for their mom and dad to give as a gift, this is a perfect idea because this is a simple, easy project, but very impactful when you put it together. And it really doesn't require any glue. It's easy peasy, okay? So what I want you to do first is we're going to put our sign over to the side, and our bow is already made over to the side. And we're going to start to make our cluster. So I like to take all the pieces that come in the kit and start to do what I call shaking hands. And that's always the first step of preparing your florals to design with. So whether I'm teaching in design school, in my class, teaching hundreds of ladies and gentlemen how to floral design every week, we still have to start with this part of the process, which means you're basically fluffing out your designs. And one of the things we generally do is we do what we call greening the base first, and that means we kind of set the perimeter, and that means set the background of the design, and we usually do that with greenery. And here in this particular kit is coming with this gorgeous flocked greenery in there. So what I'm going to do is take these and just kind of overlap them, crisscross them. So I have what we call a bow zone in here where the bow is going to go, and these are going to overlap. And once you start to attach these together, you have this really strong kind of swag base. And that is just a great, easy way to start the basics of this design. So let me grab a cable tie, and we'll start to put that together and kind of build up from there. So I'm going to just start by putting one in the middle. And I got a few cable ties here. The only thing that does not come in the kit is like cable ties or wires, anything like that. You have to provide your own, but all the florals and the sign come in it. So I started by attaching this one at the center, and I'm not even going to trim that off yet. I'm going to turn it around because I want you to make this nice and strong. So I'm going to take and just gently attach this here. It's green. I'm going to kind of hide it behind. No one's going to see it. It's camoed. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm doing that on both sides, getting it all attached. These are too fun and just really kind of easy to do. One of my favorite things because they whip out really quickly. And a lot of times projects like this are just great in your Etsy shop too. Just simple little projects you can fill your shop with. I'm going to trim these all off. My wire cutters, and see, I've created this great strong base. Now bring the sign over so we can take a look at it and kind of decide how you want to lay out your project. This is a metal sign, but it's dimensional. Look at this. Look how cool the dimension. So it depends how you want to lay out your design. You could go just straight all across the top like I'm doing here. You could bend these and kind of have it swag down and go over the circular shape. Like bend it down. I think that's cute too. Another thing that's fun on a front door is just kind of go asymmetrical. Just go off to the side and let that puppy just pop out like that. I love that too. So this is kind of the look that I like. Out to the side, letting the sign be down. It's going to hang from here, and then this will be kind of a little bit cattywampus off to one side. So I love it. Now, we've got a couple of picks we need to add to our swag first, now that we've established that. So I'm going to pull that over to the side while we put these in. Now, one is a fun candy pattern, which is great. And I think it would be cute if we could kind of get a little of that going each way. So what if I take one of these and just swing it over? So when we put it down the middle, we get 3 candy canes working opposite ways. We didn't even have to cut or anything. I like that a lot. So I'm going to stick with that. Just take and trim the excess part of the stem off right here. And no one's even going to know that with the wire cutter. And we can go ahead and put our cable tie right down the middle again. Isn't that great? And because we're in here working in the bow zone, right in the middle, it's all going to be covered. You're not going to see any of that. So I'll trim that off. You can pull these candy canes out a little. I love that. And then just to kind of soften it a bit, we're going to use one of these eucalyptus sprays with a little bit of berries. It's got a little bit of glitter. And I'm going to use that piece kind of coming over here as an extra element in this section opposite than the candy. The 2 candy canes, so it's a little bit different, not all matchy-matchy, and I'll trim that off too. If you're in design school, you'll know that I'm big on not everything being so matching. Like, we want to make the eye see the little dimension and all the little depth that we're creating, but it doesn't have to be so symmetrical all the time. It can be, but it's fun to let it be a little different. So you can see we've already created our cluster. Boom. Our cluster is made, and that's going to go, oh, it's squeaking up here at the top. And I'm going to let that just go sideways on my Berry and Bright sign. And I want to kind of bring it up a little so it's not hiding too much of the words, but it's kind of off to the side. So I need to leave room to hang it on this circle, but I want it to kind of sit in the middle of the circle, right? So in order to do that, you're going to use 2 cable ties to attach it to your sign. So I'm going to grab a couple here, and then we'll just put one over here and then one on the other side. And so that keeps it from falling all the way down. We got 2 on here in the middle of the circle. It's amazing how creative you can get with the cable ties and holding it on. You can always use wires or pipe cleaners, but I always find these can get a lot tighter than any of those and just hold up better in the long run. Okay, I'm going to trim those off. And now we got all this mechanics here you can see, but don't worry, we're going to hide that now and put our gorgeous bow right in the center. And look how cute! Now just attach this right to the spray. You don't have to go around the hanger. And you'll just, underneath my hand, I know you can't see it now, I'm just cable tying that in there. I'm trying to. But I love how cute this is. And I hope you you want to try something like this for your home as well. These are just so fun, so easy. They make up in minutes. The thing that'll take you a little bit longer is the bow, even longer than the project. But you can see how much that bow makes it so cute and precious. Put those pine cones kind of popping through the bow, coming out. Let those tails come up. And you can tell we haven't even had to hide any of the words. Merry and bright with our beautiful swag right at the top. We nailed it, guys. We nailed it. Blue Merinos, I can't wait to see yours just like this. I can't wait to see it hanging on your door. You deserve something beautiful for your home this season too. And this one is perfect. Make it for you and your family, or, you know, give it as a gift, as a kit gift to a friend where they can make it for themselves and enjoy the whole process. And it comes with full rolls of ribbon, so they're going to have extra ribbon to embellish other projects in their home. It's fun, guys. All right, Blue Merinos, I will see you next time, and I hope your holiday is merry and bright and you're making it that way. And we're going to make the cutest gingerbread arrangement, but we're going with a different color scheme. We're going with snow and pink. It's gonna be stinking cute, and we're going to make it right here in this container, and I'm going to show you how. So let's get started. Gingy's ready. This is our newest kit. It is available on the website, of course, and we'll have the link here. You can ask in the comments. Be happy to help you find it. So here's all the pieces that do come in the kit. You get the lollipop, the curl, the pink sprays that have the glitter on them. Then some of this beautiful frosty greenery, including some long spiky ones and some short fillers. And of course the cute gingerbread comes in there and the container. The only thing you're going to need for this on your own would be hot glue, wire cutters, and some floral foam to put in the container. So I'm going to make mine in this container like permanently so I can sell it. So I'm going to glue in my foam to kind of get started. So before you start doing anything, cut a couple of pieces. This comes from a big long sheet. And I cut a small one to go in the bottom and then a little bit larger to go on the top. I want to go down just a couple of inches in here. I want it to recess a little. Sometimes we want things to come out really high, but this one I'm good with it recessing a little bit. So we're going to go out, grab our glue, and put a little Gorilla Glue in the bottom to help it stick to the metal really well. And then I'm going to put the hot glue right on top. So let's put that in, get it set, and get my other pieces coming. And I'm just going to take these both, and my glue pot is right over here off camera. I'm going to dip it in and get it going on. I'm going to spread it out a little bit on here. Let me get a little bit more in the middle. All right, so I got a good amount, and I'm going to push this down, right, wiggle it in, and then push this right on top. And both my pieces are foam or in my container. Now, the main piece going in this is the gingerbread. So I want to take and put her in kind of in the middle zone of this. She did have a hanger on here, and I took that out. I just cut it off. So she's going to go right here in the middle zone. So I'm going to leave that spot open for a little bit so I can get the greenery in, and then we'll put her in just a little bit. So I think I'd like to put her a little bit sideways, like she's going to go this way, and that the lollipop and the curly pig are going to go beside her. So I'm going to start thinking about where these bigger pieces are going in my design. Like this one, I think is going to work out to the side. So in order for you to see this a little bit better, like the lollipop's going to be on one side and the gingerbread's going to be on the other, just like that. You're seeing it right from the top, but I want you to be able to kind of have a concept of what we're doing here, okay? So let's start by getting our snowy greenery in. And yeah, you can do that anytime. Just bend a stem to kind of get an idea of how it's going to lay out in your design. So this is first. And this greenery, it doesn't really push, but it is so really nice and fluffy. So I'm going to take and cut these off of the whole bush, and we'll start putting this in. Y'all, we probably have sent out a text to this video the first time it comes out. And if you want to be notified anytime we have new videos, you're going to want to grab a spot on our text list. So the way you do that is you go to textkali.com, TEXT, KELEA.com. Or you can also just text us the word VIP, one word, VIP, to 832-734-5201, and you can get right on our text list. So I'm kind of getting these greenery pieces going in towards the front to start with here. Just like that. And so this is what you're seeing from the front. So I'm going to bring these down a little bit. And let's have a little going around the back. I'm going to use the larger pieces kind of on the ends here. And you can spin it around and put these in. And a lot of our Blue Merinos find it great when they can just pick up the whole kit from us. It's really easy for them to shop, and they can reproduce what we're making super easy. Okay, so all the snowy greenery's in, we're giving it a little boost. Now, in order to put Miss Gingy in, we're going to take, I think we'll turn her a little bit this way, just for a little bit of fun. And then she's also a lot of fun if we just give her a little bit of a tilt like this. Put her into the side. I think that's whimsical. So let me go ahead and add like a little wire or a wood dowel here to the base of her leg. And I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut off the bottom of the candy. I don't need too much, about 3 or 4 inches, about 5 inches. Okay, and it's covered, this stem is covered in cute little ribbons, so you're gonna trim that off. And I'm gonna add a little glue because I want to keep that cute little detail here. So just gently wrap that back around so it sticks into the glue. And then we'll glue this one too when we get ready to put it in. But this piece right here could be how we're going to attach her in to our arrangement. So I'm just going to take and push it into the bottom of that leg. A lot of our wreath attachments are foam, so it makes it really easy to work with. All right, so when I get ready to put her in now, like I talked about at an angle, we're going to push her in right over here, okay? We're going to push in, and now she's kind of jetting out and up just a little bit. And she's on a wire stem, so you can see exactly how she's going to look right there. Isn't that cute? I love that. Okay, I'm going to get y'all a little bit more room on the camera. Okay, so she's in. And let's take and put the lollipop over to the other side. And I know I want it behind her, so you can see what's going on here. I'm going to take and put this one over here behind her. Okay. And that way you can see how this arrangement is kind of coming together and how someone would see it on a table. So we have the container. I've got Mr. Gingy here on this top part, and the lollipop will go on the other. So let me take and put a little glue on there to hold that ribbon on. And since she's a little crooked, let's have the lollipop come in off this side, just kind of straight. Okay, and those are both in the back. Oh, isn't that cute already? So cute. Now, I've got some spiky greenery that we're going to add right to the middle. But if I put the whole bush in, it's a little too much. Like if I just put that in, it would cover up a little too much. So what I'm going to do is trim it into a couple of sections here. Okay. And we just used this bush in design school. I totally love it. It adds a really great softness. So I've embraced working with this one a whole bunch. So I cut off a little bottom section. I'm going to go right in the middle. Okay. Just got my glue skillet off to the side here. And let's just have this go right in the center. Oh, that's cute. And just kind of work those around. I can take a couple of these and have them come behind too. And a couple of forward. See? We created, just doing that little trick right there, we created some depth, which is super, super cool. Now, I'm going to take this and divide it into 2 more pieces, and then we'll use a little on each side, okay? So just get in there, section it out. Make sure when you cut it, though, you leave a little bit of stem, or you're going to have to put them all in just one at a time, right? All right. Let's put one going into the right. I'm working a little bit more in the foreground here. Beautiful. And one out to the left. And now she just looks like she's in this snowy snowy wonderland, which I love that. Because it's almost like it's sugary snow. It's not regular snow, right? Awesome. All right, we've got one more of our flocked bush. We have our really neat curly picks, and then we've got our spiky, icy, snowy pieces to go in. So our curly spray here, I know I want to use it kind of in the foreground, and you have to decide, do I want it to go this way, over here on this side, or do I want it to kind of go over by my gingy? So, or we can cut it into sections, but this one's actually easier to use all as one. So let me trim it down and we'll decide. We will decide what we want to do. Now the neat thing, and this is something you're going to want to work on while you're designing, and when we teach in design school, this has a fuzzy, like a little bit of a neat texture to this fuzz, and that's exactly what we've got on this. So it's not just about color and sparkle, but also the texture, like the snow texture, the texture of the actual curls I'm putting in. So I want you to take a look at it. Here it is on this side, okay? That looks pretty cute. And then here it is going out to the left. Now the reason I kind of like it going out to the left is because it breaks the plane of the gingerbread too, and we already have this pink over here. So I kind of like that and the depth it adds. So I'm going to stick on this side, okay? So let's take it in, and I'm going to put a little glue on it, and we're going to push it in right over here. So I'm getting some glue on it, and then we're going to push this dude in right here. We give it a nice push into that foam where it's going in good and strong. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? And I like for the curls to break the plane of the container. That's something we also talk about in design school quite a bit, and how important it is. The depth in your design definitely helps create a higher skill level, and the appearance is just a little bit next level. All right, that's looking awesome. She's super duper cute. She's loaded with fun pieces. And these you can curl up tighter or leave longer. I'm going to go ahead and start to use some of my glitter sprays. And the neat thing about the glitter sprays is that they are totally perfect to add a little sparkle, a little height to the whole design. So I'm going to take and separate this into a couple of sections, and you just pull them off. They come off pretty easy. And so when you do that, you'll have one long one, which will be great because we can lay this in here and kind of decide how long we want that. And I know I want to start with one of these coming right up the center here in the middle. I love that. And how about a little bit coming over here to the right? I'm just laying these in first to kind of get an idea. And this one up the middle. Ooh, won't that be pretty? I love it. And then we can take and use some on the left too. Now we're going to get ready to put these in, and I'm going to take and totally trim these down, y'all. And listen, if you haven't joined design school yet, you are going to want to get in ASAP because we are in full holiday mode, and that means you're going to have access to all the good new tutorials that we've been doing. And we try to focus on really, you know, high-end, beautiful designs that you can learn to make. And even if you decide to not make them yet, but you want to kind of learn the skills and the process, I really strive to create an environment that's welcoming to everyone of every level, and we can try to have so much fun. And if you get in before the holidays, you won't miss our big Christmas party towards the end of the year, where we have so much fun and prizes, door prizes, all kind of good stuff. So I wanted to remind you that that time is coming. So all of these are trimmed down. You're seeing the arrangement from the top right now, from the extreme top. So while we're doing this for a second, we're going to put some pieces in. And I'm going to grab my little Lazy Susan so I can spin this around. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but a simple Lazy Susan can allow you to work on both sides of your arrangement very quickly and just make it super fun when you're bringing it all together. So here she is. We're going to add our glitter pieces. So I'm going to start with some of these taller ones in the back. And as far as placement goes, I want to create depth with these. So I want them to be higher than the Gingy and that lollipop. I want it to be higher than both. So I'm going to put this first piece in. Kind of got it going on. I think it's fun playing with the newer trends of the different colors for the holidays. But I always love to come back to the classics too. You know, it's a good combo of both. And you know what? I even love natural inspired designs. I think they're one of my favorites. So you're going to see us doing a little bit of everything. Okay, now I'm going to take this one. I loaded her with glue and she's going to come out over here to the right, kind of in front of the gingerbread, layering it out a little right here. Okay, and then I'm going to come on the right side and do the same thing. So we create the illusion that all these twigs are coming from the same area in the arrangement, and that really helps with the shape of the design. So keep that in mind when you're doing your first centerpieces, or when you're grabbing this kit. It's super, super fun to create that illusion. So work hard to do it. I'm pushing this into the pie, but I want that to kind of come over the edge if possible. Hold on, I gotta put more glue on it. I'm gonna go a little bit further. I'm pushing it into the foam. There we go. Not the pine, silly. All right, and I'll bend it a little bit more over the edge in a little bit. Look how cute. So cute. And let's put one more kind of going at the edge over there on the left. So I'm gonna give it a good bend. And then I'll hold it up and show you what it looks like. I love all these sparkly going in here. Because it's kind of like a whimsical winter, you know? Whimsical winter candy wonderland. Look at this. She's so cute. All right, we're not done yet. We want to fill up her base, and we're holding these two off to the very last. We've got one more pick and a little bit of candy fun. So we're going to take these and trim these off. Now our job with these last pieces of greenery is to fill up that base and make it very lush with the greenery. So I'm going to focus on the front right now because it's what's most important. And we can even take and cut these in half to where you've got two pieces out of one. So they're short, and that's going to work good to fill in. And I want it to be like she's frolicking in a snow-covered candy. Oh, like you could lick this stuff and it would be loaded with candy. It's not. It's glitter and snow. It's fake. Don't lick it. Don't do it. But you want to be tempted. It's like the candy land that we all dreamed of as little kids at Christmas time. Now I'm going to take these little pieces and we're going to start just popping this in. And it's going to give this lush, lush feel here, right there. Oh, really tight as we go around. Oh, I love these little curls too. And just push them in, make it really full. I'm going to go all the way around. And like I said, we're going to start in the foreground at the front. And I'm going to work towards the middle. And then we'll flip it around and we'll do some on the back. There's a dang glue string there. Oh, do you hate glue strings as much as I do? I cannot stand them. Some people it doesn't matter. I can remember going to craft shows and pulling glue strings off other people's work. Like, let me help you. This doesn't go on here, you know? They probably thought, don't touch my stuff. And I'm like, it's just a glue string. I got it. Let's push them in. Okay, let's see what we got here. Look at this little cutie. She is looking so cute. I'm loving it. Okay, we're going to flip it around and we're going to go to the back here where you're seeing the back. We're going to do the same thing on the back. Fill that in nice and tight. Now, if you want this design to be two-sided, you could always order another gingerbread separately out of the kit and put another one in the back, which would be super cute. I think that would be adorable. If you feel like, hey, this I want to use this in a place in my home where it's going to show. Okay. I'm going to hold off these two little pieces in case there's a hole we find. But let's finish off the front and make her look amazing. Oh, she already looks amazing. She's so stinking cute. All right, I'm gonna take this curly part here, and we're gonna weave this way in the back, coming up besides the Gingy. I love that. Her shape is looking really good. Now, I wanna bring these little candies in. We have a candy pick here, and this is gonna go off to this right side. So I'm gonna take and put some glue on it. We're gonna press it into that foam base in there, and she's gonna go right over here. You wanna hear it crunch in there. There we go. How cute is that? And the balls and the little donut type candies are in there, right? Just adding that festive look there. And then take a look anywhere you have a hole, or you could use this piece in the back to finish it up. Let me put one little piece of greenery in here. But y'all, I think we've done it that quickly. You made yourself a stunning, cute, festive, loaded, full. It's just lush with this greenery, and this your grandkids are going to love, and maybe they can help you make it. I think it would be just a fun project to make as a family and to put up every year. We are gonna make the cutest sled today. This is our base we're gonna start with, and I'm excited to let you know this is a kit. You're gonna get this Magnolia sled, 2 of these adorable cardinal picks, and the perfect berry ribbon to mix all together. And yes, you're getting all 10 yards in the kit. And on this one, you're gonna make your own sled door hanger. Of course, this is cute how it is, but we're gonna take it to the next level. So I'm Kali, and welcome. We're gonna have some fun. If you don't already like, subscribe, and follow us wherever you're watching, you're gonna wanna do that, of course. And if you've never gotten one of our kits before, you can grab one at Kali's.com. If you need the direct link to get one, just text us the word KIT. Text us KIT to 832-734-5201, and you can get your own kit to make this exact project. Okay, so the only thing that doesn't come in the kit would be like wire or cable ties, scissors, and hot glue. That's all going to be up to you to provide. Now this comes with a cute little jute hanger, but it's going to be so much cuter with the ribbon. So we're going to switch out the hanger first. That's an easy thing you guys can do. Whether you get this kit from us or you do other projects at home, take and just upgrade the hanger, you know, make it a little bit cuter. So we're going to do that with our adorable ribbon. So let's just start by putting a little knot on this side. And I want to make sure the ribbon looks pretty hanging over the edge here. I want to see that pretty ribbon overlapping. So when I do my knot, I'm just going to keep it really cute. I'm going to tie it kind of like a tie, bring it under, and then we are going to pull it a little bit around and up. So I get a cute little knot, or I can see my cute little ribbon. One more up here. And I like that little stitching showing. Let's bring it under. 2 of those is enough. This doesn't weigh a whole bunch, guys. It's light. Okay, and then I'm going to trim that off, and we can rotate this a little bit around the back. So you have it at the top, and then you got your cute little ribbon showing right there. Cut that little piece off, and knot 1 is good to go. All right, now, I don't think we need a big, long hanger on this one. I just want to keep it pretty simple. Bring it around. If you have a wreath hanger that you hang your stuff on, you don't want this super long, otherwise it's going to bang against your door. So keep it pretty simple. So I'm going to cut it about 6 inches beyond there, so I have enough to make my knot. And we'll just pull this off to the side, because I think we're going to want a bow on this too. Hey, the bow could be optional. You could do what you want on your design. But I know we're changing out this hanger because we're going to take it to the next level, of course. Now, when I want this to come around, I don't want to see the back of the ribbon, so make sure you're flipping that around. And then we're going to come from the front to the back. So I've got the pretty side showing. And it doesn't need to be too long. Something like this I think is just fine. That's probably about 8 inches. Okay? And a couple of knots here. Going around. Bringing it under. There's knot number 1. And we'll pull that to the top up here. And then we're going to do 1 more. Just so it looks nice and neat and clean. And I've just brought that over and around on itself. You don't have to overthink this too much. Just cute little knots that are kind of tucked to the top edge. And then this is wired ribbon, so we can fluff that all around. So we did a switcheroo on the hanger, and we put our own little cute hanger on because we're fancy like that. That's done. I threw that little nub in the trash. Okay, now this is super cute how it is, but we're going to put our cardinal picks in, and these have the cutest little cardinals and all this fun berry, and that's what's going to make this a little bit more dimensional, a little bit more sparkly before we put our bow in, okay? So take on these picks, and if you look at them, I'm the queen of breaking down picks. If you're in design school and this is a beginner project, but in design school we do more advanced projects that are just multi-steps, so we have to learn how to break down picks to make it quick and easy to create the process that we're doing. So I'm going to cut these with just about 2 inches. They don't need a lot. We're just tucking them into the base here with glue. And if you want to be in our design school class, we open up a couple times a year for new students. So get on our wait list. Just text us the word LINK, L-I-N-K, and text it to 832-734-5201. And you can replay this to get it again, or 832-734-5201. And just text us the word LINK, and we will send you the link for our class where you can learn to do higher end design projects. And not just the recipe how to do one, but the principles behind what we're doing, so you can repeat the process over and over and learn exactly how to do beautiful floral designs with silk flowers. Okay, I've broken it up into sections again, and I'm breaking this one down too. I don't want these stems really long. I'm just cutting them to about 1 to 2 inches here. And we're going to tuck it in behind that magnolia. Okay? Now, I've got my 2 cardinals, and they come with a little chunky piece of greenery. And one of the principles of design is kind of to work opposites. This looks like a swag, if you've ever designed a swag. So our transition point is right here at the magnolia. So put a little glue on here, and the neat thing is this has got a bunch of Christmas pine you can just tuck it into. Just tuck this right into here, and we're going to use her. This sweet little cardinal, she's going to look up and off to that side. So that means I need another one opposite. And this one we'll put in down here. Now, this is a little bit below the transition point, but we're going to still let her stick up slightly. We're just going to tuck her in right here. You see how they're opposite? And that kind of evens out that eye with that hanger we made, and we're going to really balance it when we put a bow at the bottom. So glue this in. We're going to tuck it right underneath the sweet little magnolia. And, oh, magnolias are so popular here for every season. So give them a try, y'all, if you haven't created with them. They are beautiful flowers. Okay, a little bit of snowy goodness. All right, now we've got all our berry pieces. These 2 are the matching ones that have a little bit of pine. So and they've got that little sparkle. So let's take one of these and like have it come down from these 2. And we're going to shift direction on it because it's at what we call a transition, at the transition point of this design, so it needs to go the opposite direction. So I'm going to tuck that right under here, trying to cover up all my glue. Just push that petals down to hide it. Perfect. And that works between. Now let's put the other thicker piece in between the 2 cardinals. And I'm going to definitely shake hands with it. That's another design school term, guys. Shake hands means spread it out. Fill it out, make it look beautiful. Utilize that pick that you've spent good money for. We're going to utilize that and spread it out. And get, oh, yes, I see the berries flowing. Now, hold these off. We're going to use these in a minute. We're going to tie us a sweet little bow to go on this side. Okay? Now, grab a cable tie. I didn't grab me one before, so give me a second. I'm going to grab it. But I'm going to use a little cable tie to hold this bow together. You could use a little piece of wire too. And I want the little bow to tuck in here. Doesn't have to do a whole lot as far as be very many layers, but we're going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to cut that at an angle. This will be my first tail. Depending how long you want it, I want it to kind of come down off the base. So I'll scrunch that up and twist it in my hand. And I made a loop, and it's probably about 4 inches, and I want to just make sure I like that. I like it. Scrunch it and twist it. So this is just like, you could do this in your bow maker if you want to use your bow maker. Here's one layer, scrunch and twist, and I'm going to make this one a little shorter. So probably about 1/2 inch shorter than my last loop. Scrunch and twist, and we're going to do this on this. Oh my gosh. Look how cute. So I just made a sweet little bow with a long tail or short tail, okay? And you can stack them up like this, that's fine too, and have both tails come down however you want. So I'm going to take my cable tie to the middle, and we're going to go ahead and get this nice and tight in the center. You can use wire too, guys. Fluff out that middle. I'm going to layer my loops just up, like a big one, a little one. Get it nice and tight. We're not going to put a wire through the back this time because we're just going to glue this puppy in today. It's a sweet little bow. Yo, the birds are going crazy out here. All right, let's cut this tail a little bit longer. Okay, a little bit longer because we're sassy like that. Now, I want to tuck this bow in right next to my Magnolia. Let's just put it in right here. And then I'm going to glue that down. But because I can see the center of the bow, I want to be careful that I cover that with a little bit of ribbon. I was trying to decide if we'd be able to see it, but we are going to be. So cut a little piece of ribbon and we'll fill in that area. I just fold this on itself. If you guys ever see me make bows, we're going to use that same technique where we cover the center. That just is where that cable tie is. And put a little bitty knot in here. And we'll tuck that to the back. Okay, fluff this dude out. Those tails need to come down. She's looking cute. All right, you can leave this little tail that's on the knot, or you can trim that off. I'm just gonna leave it right now. I might trim it when we all get to it, but I'm gonna leave that little piece. Okay, let's glue her in. I'm gonna put her right in here. So let me bring this little piece. That's a little piece of what do you call that? The one you kiss under. You guys know. Tell me in the comments. Shoot, why can't I think of it? The one you give sweet little kisses under. Okay, let's get some glue on there. Kiss me and mistletoe. Jeez. Thank you for helping me in the comments. Okay, I'm going right in here. We're just going to glue that to that pine and just hold it for a second. Let my little ribbon tails pop up. And hold that while you manipulate these longer tails. Isn't this just so sweet and simple? I love these little projects, guys, to get you excited about creating. This is a perfect little project for a smaller door classroom, maybe a nursing home, or if you've got a little spot in your home you can pop this in. Is just a perfect little touch. Okay, I'm going to cut these at a bigger angle, those two little ribbons. Oh, that one's okay. And let's curl these up. Alrighty, and we're not finished yet because it's twig time. Just like you were in design school, we would use twigs to accent our piece, especially at the end of our design. Let's tuck this in there. And that's how we're going to use these cute little berries. I'm going to use them just like twigs. You see we put the bow kind of opposite the cardinals, so she's balancing it out. Now let's pop in our cute little baby twigs. Y'all, I hope you're enjoying making this kit with us. And don't be a stranger, come back and watch us make more projects together, of course. See how fun these are to tuck in? Isn't that great? And don't forget, you can text us the word KIT, K-I-T, to 832-734-5201, and we'll send you just automatically, instantly, the link to this kit. And if you are watching later, you'll get the link to all our latest kits. So even if this one's sold out, you can find out and be in the know about what our latest kit is. And we can always send you the video too. Oh my gosh, it's so cute with these in here. I got one more little piece. Let's put this on the end. So don't be afraid to use your little berries to accent like little fun twigs. Just put a little glue, pop them into the pine. I'm going to alternate this bow just a little bit. I think I'm going to go up and down just like that. And we did it! We made our own sled door hanger. She's super cute and ready to gift to anyone. Oh, y'all, and you've got this much ribbon to tie up treat bags too, to deliver all those cookies you're making this Christmas. Guys, this is awesome. Are you ready? Because I'm here to help you. Grab your ribbon, wrangle it up. We're getting ready to make a fun, snowy winter swag kit that's super easy, and I think you will love it. And we're going to rock out the ribbon in this one. So get ready, come on in, let's have some fun. Y'all, the first thing you want to do is you're going to order your kit from us here on cleese.com, and in there you're going to get the swag base. You're going to get this beautiful braid that has the wintry pine on it. You're also going to get one of these adorable cardinal pieces that we're going to add in for that touch of red. It's all got snow and glitter. And then you are going to also get 2 full rolls of ribbon. Now, what we're going to do today is you're going to text us at 832-734-5201 or go to textcali.com. Once you do that, you're good to go, and you send us the word. For this particular one, you send us the word kit, and we'll send you the link to it, okay? Now, let's get started on this project right away. I am going to grab my bow maker. Now, you can do the bow by hand or any way you want. I use an easy bow maker, and we do have an affiliate link for that too, where you can grab your own. I am going to tie my bow first. Now, you're going to notice I need to get the length of this tail right, because we want to really rock out the ribbon in this design. So put your ribbon on the bow maker, okay, and just get it here sitting. And then I want you to take and just pull that ribbon out so you get the full length. I want it to be able to go down and hang a little past there, and we're going to put what we call some little bitty humps in it, and we call those roller coasters in design school. And if you've been dying to join our design school, you just got to get on the wait list. You got to head over to textcali.com, and you are going to send us the word link, L-I-N-K, and that'll hook you up with what you need. Now, I've measured out that link right there, the length, it's all the same. Then I'm going to put on the swag and bring it to the middle, all the words. Twist it right here, okay? Now, I want one tail. I'm going to have one tail coming down this whole swag, and then I am going to have 2 loops on either side. So we're going 6.5 on these, 6.5 right here, 6.5 on this side. So we're going to do 2 on each side, twist at the center, and I'll pull that ribbon back and twist and keep spreading this right out. 6.5 over here, and scrunch that dude down. Now this tail's going to go up. So the other part of our swag kit is got this right here, and I want this to be able to be at the top of my swag. So this tail, I need it to be able to flow through that whole piece. So I'm going to cut it a little bit longer, and we're going to dovetail that. And I'm just going to take and fold that in half and get a nice sharp dovetail right there. Boom! And that one can go in. All right, first step done. Now grab your other ribbon, okay? We've already got our lengths decided with our first ribbon, and we're just going to go right on top of this other one. So I'm going to start off by matching the tail length here, and you can make it a little shorter or a little longer, whatever you prefer. I'm going to come in and twist that. So that's going to be my long tail at the bottom of the swag. And now we're going to do a simple, let's go at 5.5, so we're 1 inch shorter than our other loop of this pretty stripe. These always go good together. So we've got berries on the one ribbon, stripes on the other. This tail's going to go up and just match the length of this one. Okay, so you just measure it out, and pretty simple. And then what I want you to do is dovetail that. I think it's time for new scissors, or sharpening the scissors. Are your scissors getting dull too? Man, we're cutting so much. We've been getting our all of our projects done. All right, now I'm gonna grab my cable ties, and we're gonna go ahead and pull this dude off. So I'm gonna run that right underneath on the right, and then pull this through so that the tail will be on the left up here, and I'll have a little bit of motion. Actually, it's got to go this way so you catch it. You can't push it over. You got to go on the same side. We'll pull it into the swag when we bring it in. Okay, rotate that between your fingers, and now is the magical part. You got to fluff it all up. Fluff it and make it look beautiful. Yeah. There we go. You see how loopy it is? That's how I love to make my bows. Just lots of motion and movement. I think that's so satisfying. Now come in here underneath, add your cable tie behind, and just pull that tight. We're going to take and just cut that piece off. And now what I like to put in there, I'm going to put a bit of the stripe running right down the middle, okay? So let's do that. Just cut off a small strip of your stripe. Remember, in the kit, you're going to get that whole roll. So you've got plenty to work with. And I'm going to run this right down the middle here. And you have that tail up and a tail down. Flip this around, we'll just put a little knot. Basically, we're making it look really clean. I teach in design school. We want to camouflage our mechanics, and that's exactly what we just did. No one will know that there's a cable tie in there, okay? So the first part of this project is rocket. Now, we're going to get that swag base and put that part together now. So just move your ribbon off to the side and grab the large swag base, and then you're also going to need this piece here. Now, I have already taken and fluff them out. And in design school, we call that shaking hands. So that's what we've done. We've shook hands with all of that. Now, the swag itself has this hanger on it right here. So you might take a second and just move that to the back so the hanger can be accessed from the back. And I'm going to run that right beside here. Now let me flip it over. So you'll have 2 pine cones. You'll have like a trio of pine cones when you mix these 2 together. Now, the way to get this to hold is we've got to use some cable ties and attach it nice and firmly right down the center. You can leave a little gap in between. I'll show you. Let me flip it around so you can see. A little gap in between to set the bow in. Or you can just do it flush tight and then put the bow on top of these. It's up to you. I'm going to leave a little bow zone, as we call it in KDS. I'm going to flip this around. And now it's time to attach this together. Now, your kit doesn't come with cable ties, but you can get these in the electrical department. You can pick out, I like the clear color. It's easy to camouflage. And you're just going to put a couple of these here. Easy peasy. Now, the other thing you're going to need, here's that hanger. So I'm going to pull that out so I can access it. Put one right above it. And it's got like a little wire loop. You can always add another wire hanger if that one doesn't work for your door. No big deal. 2 of these on and keep this nice and flat. When we trim these off, we're going to just rotate those little nubs to the side. I'm using wire cutters, so it's just a little less sharp on my, a little less harsh on my poor little scissors. And just push this to the side. That way that doesn't scratch your door or anything like that. And you got a nice surface back here, okay? All right, we got that done. Now flip it around. Voila! Okay. Oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful, strong, beautiful base. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put my bow in, and we're going to get our tails all pretty how we want them. I'm going to show you a couple of different options. That's so fun. When you make yours, you can do yours anyway. So let's take this one in, put it right down the center. Okay, and here's our tail running down the bottom. So I'm going to give you a couple of options, but the first thing we have to do is take that cable tie and attach this right to the middle. Okay, this goes in the center of that area we left where we have our 3 pine cones. Just so pretty placed in there. And then once that's in, I'm not going to get it too tight to start with. We can always tighten it up later. Cut that piece off, and then we're going to manage that tail to look beautiful. Y'all, this is just a great transitional piece. You could even pop some gorgeous hearts in here if you wanted to make it more Valentine-y. I'm just making it pretty in winter, and you could always pop in the hearts if you wanted. Now, I love the stripe mixed on top of the berry. I think that's really pretty. And what I would do is I would just kind of tuck this under the first pine cone right here, and then let this tail come out this way. So you have this beautiful flow. Isn't that beautiful? That's one option to do the tail. And then here at the top, if I was doing that, I'm going to do this tail the opposite way. See how this curls this way? This one's going to curl the opposite because that is awesome and beautiful. And you love to see that flow. I love to see the flow of movement. And then we can curl these up. And that is beautiful ribbon placement on this one. I mean, beautiful. If you want to change and you want to be different, another fun thing to do is just to have these kind of meet in the middle. Have the berries go on one side and have the stripe go on the other. And then have their little tails just come down. And you can make them match or one be longer than the other. And that's really fun too. And you could do that same thing up here. It's your choice if you like them matching or a little bit off center like this. So depending what you want to do, you can either tie this on or you can just pop a little glue on here to hold them down. It's up to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and I think I'm just going to tie it down with a cable tie. I like to pull this up just a little bit more so there's a little bit of movement in here. So we're going to come underneath and I'm going to tie it to the base right there. And you see, we call that a roller coaster in design school. That just means it's a Humpty-Doo, right? Yeah, Humpty Dance on this one. I'm going to come in right underneath and tie that onto that base, okay? So go for the base wire, run your cable tie in and out. It's going to go under and come back up. And then I'm just going to gather the ribbon a little so I kind of control how it's going to look. And you see how that's underneath the pine here, so you'll never see it. Okay, so that one's in. So I've used about 4 cable ties so far. Isn't that cute? So pretty. Now let's do the same thing up here. We've already placed that one in. Let me grab one more. And we'll tie this one in. Right up here. And just, you can take and gather it like this. to kind of control when you tie it. Otherwise it can look a little frumpy, you know? No girls want to be frumpy, and no wreaths want to be frumpy. We want to feel polished. Polished. You guys, I love this. This is just a simple kit, and kits are a great way for you to get started, where you might go to our website and feel just completely overwhelmed with thousands of products. But when you come in and you purchase a kit, you get exactly what you need to make it. And you might need to add a little hot glue or scissors or things like that. But I know you guys already have that in your craft room. All right, this is beautiful. This is great and simple. We could be done here. But we're just going to add a little touch of that cardinal. So many people love cardinals for so many different reasons, so we like to add them into our pieces, especially for winter when people are thinking about their loved ones. So I'm going to take and separate this out. And when you do that, you can separate these into different sections. And I'm looking to get 3 pieces out of here if I can. Just take and pull these out. And not everybody will have a cardinal. Some will just have some greenery. And I just like to tear them if we can. Just tear this. It's super easy to do. Tear it down, and cut this one right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to take all the scraps. We don't need those, or you can save that main wire maybe for another project. And we're just going to add these in. Now, this is kind of where the cardinal and a little bit more greenery. I'm going to use that at the top, and then we'll use all these smaller pieces in at the bottom. Now, with her, I think we could thin down the top a little bit. You could keep one berry, but take this little bit out. So I'm deconstructing that spray into some smaller, more delicate sprays. Okay, and I'm just going to take a little glue, and we're going to pop this one in, and this cardinal can sit right behind this pine cone and sit here at the top, and just add that little bit of touch of happiness. So I'm going to put a little glue on that. I'm using my electric glue skillet, but you can use a glue gun, whatever you prefer. It's off camera, but you see how I've got a bunch of glue on there? I'm going to tuck that in right back here. She's so happy. Just make sure you're hitting a lot of the pine with it. And in this one, I went right behind the pine cone. Okay, so she's going to tuck in there, and I'm going to kind of use what we call a zigzag technique to do the rest, y'all. So just what it means is we're going to add a little to the left and then a little to the right. It's easy way to do it and work your way down. If you're a little unsure about your placement, what you can do is just tuck them in before you glue them. Okay, so there's that one. These just have some fun little berries, a little bit of greenery. This is where we have our cable tie where we tuck that ribbon in. Let me trim these off. We've got one more cardinal, and I'm going to think about where I'm putting her in just a second. Let's shake hands and fluff this guy all out. All right, let's come in here. That's super cute. And I'm thinking about where I'm putting these. I'm not just shoving them in. You see how I'm zigzagging? Important, guys. If you want to be a high-level designer and make pieces that people want to pay more for, you have to do more than just push it in. You have to think about where it's going to go and how the eye picks up those things. And I think what would be really precious is if we went ahead and put both of these baby cardinals up here at the top like they are together. So let's come back in and glue everybody in and make her look marvelous. Okay, let me put this one right up here. She's got a nice long wire. I'm going to take and trim that a little bit. Get the glue on her. And come on here. And you notice how her head is facing the other way? That's on purpose. So these have alternate heads facing. Think about that when you're putting your stuff in. Okay, now I'm going to come in right here and we're going to go under those pine cones. Now I'm going to get a good amount of glue where I can go in on top of this base right here, and that will hide all of that. And this just little bit of accent piece, because it's green and it's not brown, it's really popping out. I mean, the green and the brown are popping out against all the white of the winter snow here, and that looks adorable. And this is working like a twig, which I use twigs. I love, love, love twigs in my designs. They just give you this higher perceived value, this designer look, with just a little bit more effort. Okay, here's our last one. Oh, I love this, you guys. I know this is a kit you can really have fun with, and you can make it to go on your door the rest of the season after you're done with the holidays. And if you wanted to make it more Valentine-y, you could use this exact same piece just pop a little heart in here. Any kind of little heart. You could even print you out a cute little heart and laminate it, pop it right in here and make it temporary. Pull it back out and your cardinals could be shining also if you wanted to. So there's just so many different variations. But I can't wait for you to play with this adorable zigzag ribbon, you guys. Looks amazing. All right, go have fun with flowers. And if you haven't texted us yet, do that. Make sure you like and follow us wherever you're watching this video. And don't forget to like and follow all your favorite creatives. If you hit that bell icon, you can subscribe or follow us wherever you're watching this. We would love to see you again. We're going to start off by prepping our base. And this time we're going to use a little bit of Gorilla Glue. And we're going to use some hot glue, okay? I'm using just a little bit of foam. This is a floral foam, and it's kind of the dense foam. It's a perfect one to use for any projects that we're using artificial flowers with. So it's dense and it's not sandy or crumbly. It's not made for water. It's for artificial flowers. And we just need a small little block of it. And my plan is to put that up here a little bit off center. You do have to think about we can't put all the weight on one side or it will hang crooked. So keep that in mind when you're creating. But I like it. I like things not so matchy-matchy. So I'm going to start with a little Gorilla Glue up here, like right above the holly leaf, right on this edge. Generally, if you can catch a little edge and a little bit of other elements in the design, it kind of will help it stay on there better. So I'm putting some hot glue on now. I'm dipping that in my glue pot. If you don't know what a glue pot is, just ask here and we'll share a video with you so you can learn all about our electric glue pot skillet. And you see I'm just kind of putting that off center a little bit. And while that starts to set up, we're going to start to make our design on here. I'm going to start off with our greenery first, and we're using this really beautiful snowy eucalyptus. So it's a nice, pretty snowy green. It'll help pick up this pretty green here, which we already know looks good with this color combo with the gold around the edge. So I'm going to take and cut these all off this bush right here, and we'll get this prepped. Some of these we're going to use long, some of them we're going to use shorter. So I'm just trimming everybody off. And when I'm teaching in design school how to create the beautiful floral designs we do, we talk about creating the perimeter with the greenery. And generally we do that first on most projects, but sometimes you might add greenery at a different point. But here we're going to do it first. So I'm going to take my first piece, and hopefully this has gotten set up. And I'm going to kind of come right down here on my left to start out shaping up my base, okay? So even though I want to do what we call breaking the plane of one item and bringing it over, I don't want to cover up all the words. I like for it to kind of dabble in the word area, but not completely cover it up. So I'm going to do two of these that are about the same length. I'm just trimming them down. And that way I've got some little pieces like this to come back and use later. I'm going to put this one on the right. That one's on the left, and we're just kind of doing what we call mirror placement right now. If you put it on the left, you put it on the right, going back and forth. All right, let's put a little bit more greenery in, and let's just go right beside where we put the other, coming a little bit more this way, a little bit down to the right. Now come back to your left, come on back to your left, and we're gonna work. I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking that little section off, and now I'm gonna go up a little higher here. So basically when you're floral designing, you're going to create lines and you want to create depth and dimension, and all of that helps a look come together. You see what we've got going? And we're going to stop there with the snowy greenery for right now, because we'll bring some more of that back in the design a little bit, but that's a good baseline. Next, we've got our fun bell pick. I love this one because these bells are of course going to give a jingle jangle when it's on the door. You got the pretty metal there, you pick up the metal from there. So whenever you see me designing, there's a lot of thought put in a design, because we need the whole look to kind of come together with the materials. And that's how you get a more designer look, a polished look, when you follow the directions I'm giving you to help put these things together. Better off grab a kit from us whenever we have kits available, because those help make it super easy to kind of get a look going. We're going to shake hands with this just like we would in design school. So you're going to take your time, just like I teach my KDS Blue Merinos. You have to take your time and you have to be patient. You're paying for really nice, beautiful quality florals, but if you don't take the time to fluff out each section, then you are going to be frustrated in the look you're getting if you just leave it all clumped up. We want to take and separate them into beautiful sections. And that's what we just did there. Now this piece is going to go right here and kind of pop over to the right. We're going to have, oh my gosh, I love that we have this holly in here. I look for such beautiful holly, and that holly is just popping right out of there. All right, now let's come on either side with the other two bell sprays. And I'm shaping it out again. We're going to come in over here, going to the right. I love that. We'll just keep touching it up, pushing these into the foam. Make sure that bell's in there really good. He is. I'm going to tuck him right there. And then our third bell spray is going to kind of come down this way, right here between those greeneries. We're going to tuck that in. These kind of projects are a blast because they're not going to take a big commitment for you if you're just trying out this hobby for the first time. This is pretty simple. You don't have to go purchase a bunch of stuff. You're just going to need some hot glue. You're going to need a little bit of foam, and then you can snag a kit or grab the supplies from us and it'll come right to your door, and you're not running around crazy trying to find everything. All right, you can see what a great base we have going. Now we're going to put a bow on there. We made this bow in another video. So the link for this bow is here in the supply list for this project. And all I'm going to need to do is I'm going to add it to a little piece of wire called a U-pin. We have a cable tie there in the back, and I'm going to be able to tie that right onto my little U-pin, okay? It's a little metal pin shaped in a shape of a U, and it is found in the floral section of most of your craft stores. Now I'm going to take and put it right in the center, okay? And we're going to go ahead and put that in now. So I'm going to put a little glue on my U-pin and just tuck that puppy right in there. Up over here. You're looking so pretty, girl. You're beautiful. Oh my gosh. And then that just pops right there. Isn't that cute? I love this. I love when it comes together just how I hope it's going to come together. Because we've got this metallic ribbon. We've got the metallic in the bells. And then we've got the beautiful sheen of the enamel look sign. It all just pulls together so pretty. All right, so now we need to go ahead and start to tuck in around the bow. So remember our smaller pieces of the eucalyptus that's glittered. We're gonna start to put those in and around here, okay? So let's put a couple coming down first. Oh yeah, perfect. And we're gonna start to watch our glue strings. They'll pull right off this sign if they get on there. It's no big deal. But you wanna put these right at the transition of the bow. And let's have one maybe come down a little bit. We got our cute little bell hanging out here, and we can move her more to the middle if we want. I think that's always kind of cute. Just wiggle it over, let it kind of come out the middle of the bow. Now, I let a little greenery come down. I like that, but if you want it a little shorter, you can always come in and just like take off a couple of leaves, like boom, a little less. No big deal. Do a little haircut. All right, and I'm gonna come up above and we're gonna pop a little in here, and you can kind of see how it's starting to shape out. So we filled that in, we got our fun bells. But we're not done. We have a berry pick. And the reason we're gonna use the berry pick in here too, it's got a little bit of frosty, icy snow, so it matches this look. We're gonna use this to bring that red color in the bow into the greenery a little bit. So I'm gonna just take this really quickly and we're gonna just tear. And generally when you tear, you get longer stems where the wires kind of come down. And we're gonna do that. There you go. And I'll pull my little holly leaves off. And then I'll leave this little top part as one cluster, pull that out. And I could just trim that. Now when you do tearing like that, you gotta clean up those edges always. And now I'm ready to put some of these berries in and these little pine cones right between where we have the bells. So I'm gonna take this first piece right here and we're gonna use it right up the middle because it's just a perfect spot. Just lay that right on top of that eucalyptus we had already put in. And I'm just gonna hold on to my foam while I'm pushing it in so I don't get overly aggressive and go crazy because that glue is still kind of warm from when we put it on there. Okay, that looks really pretty right up the middle. And now let's go here. I'm gonna separate the berries out. This one's like a cluster of 3, so we can separate that. So we'll have a couple of these. These could kind of come down from the center. Get a good amount of glue on these wires because that will help it stay better because it's kind of a thinner wire. They're gonna go into the foam nicely, but you need to make sure you're getting a good amount of glue. Oh, put that layer, that right in there. Ooh, ooh, it's breaking the plane of the ribbon. Na, 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 na. Oh gosh, I love that. Okay, we went that way. Now let's go this way. And let's work between these clusters. And I'm going to use one berry over here between these two. We're just going to tuck that in pretty. And then let's do a little bit over here. It's a little bit fatter berry. I'm going to have that one come there. And this one has a cool twig that we're going to use too. Look at this twig. It's kind of a reddy brown. So I'm just going to make my own little cluster. Just going to twist these together. Comes out this side. And I'll curl those just up on my finger and I get that really pretty fun curl. Let's bring that over right in here. Oh my gosh. Doing all this detail work is so fun, so relaxing. Yes, and it kind of sprays down a little bit more. We've got one pine cone here that I know will look super cute tucked by that bow. So I'm going to trim that down. And he's going to go right in here. Oh, you guys are going to have so much fun making this. I think you're going to probably keep this for yourself because these are adorable. Adorable. All right, now I'm going to take my little last piece of the eucalyptus, and what I want you to do is cut this into little single or double sections, really small. And our job is to now go in and fill anywhere we've got little holes or we need a little touch of that glittery part, and just take your time and fill this right in to kind of camouflage your foam behind. Walk on either side, take a look. Okay, how's it look from underneath? Where do I need to add a little bit more? Once you do that, you're going to come up with the cutest looking ornament that you've ever seen. And who doesn't love "Have yourself a merry little Christmas"? Isn't that perfect? It's a perfect saying for the beautiful holiday season. And I think you've got it. You got it. You could do this. It's Kali. Are you ready to make this Christmas tree? I am. Let's get in here and let's get started. I've got some beautiful pine that's wispy. I love that. Then because of this having a bit of a rustic feel with the red and the snowflakes and then the tin, but then we've got the cute little glitter snow on the edge, it's perfect to bring in a pick like this where we've got the berries that are made of the wood, and that kind of brings in the metal and the wood. You feel the texture? Yeah, you feel the texture. That really matters. And then this will help bring in the pretty snowflake color also to the base, and we've got some white pine cones, because when we have this big contrast of white, we need to pop the white, but we also need the red up here pulled in from the star. So that's kind of a no-brainer on our picks and sprays that come in here. And then we pulled a ribbon, and we're not going to need a whole lot of ribbon. We're going to use a nice little section of it here. But you see here, this ribbon is perfect. We have the red, we have the green, we have the white. And the reason this works so well in this project is it's burlap. And so it has this neat texture, and it gives it that rustic feel. The first thing we have to do is prep our base. And I have already put a little glue on his wing nut here. We're going to use some Gorilla. When you put the tree together, he has a little wing nut on the bottom. And if you'll just pop in a little Gorilla Glue, it's going to make him more permanent and set up ready to go. Now, if you want to make it for yourself where you can, store it separately, then don't do that. Have it wherever you can screw in the tree. So it might be easier to go in storage. Now, I'm making my pieces to sell. So customers generally want it come ready to put out. They don't want any instructions. They want to just take it out of that box, unwrap it, and be like, ta-da! So I try to keep it really simple in something like this, okay? And I'm going to keep it in one piece glued together. You're going to need a little bit of floral foam, and if you've never used floral foam before, it's the kind of the foamy, it's a harder foam, it's not sandy, and we use it. It doesn't work with real flowers. It's not going to hold water like an Oasis foam. It's more dense. And we're going to use it to put all our florals in at the bottom. Now the idea is you want this small enough where it doesn't show, but not too little, because then it becomes brittle. So nice little chunky. This is kind of a 2x3 chunk, to give you an idea. And you can see when I put those on the base, they'll be perfect right there at the bottom. Now whenever we're attaching to metal, I'm going to Clean the metal if you can't. With alcohol would be better than my hand. With alcohol wipe. But I'm also going to use some Gorilla Glue. We're going to put a little of that down. And then I always put hot glue first, mixed with it. And between the two, I usually get a really nice, stable base. So I'm going to pop that on there. And then I'm going to get my electric skillet over here with glue in it. All right, so I'm just going to dip these puppies in. And we're going to find a nice flat surface here. And we're going to put one on each side and just let them going. So in design school, they're very familiar with this procedure. I mean, it's a very typical of how I would start off a project. I'm just always sharing all the tips and tricks that I've learned in my, this is 27 years of creating and having my own business. So I'm always wanting to make it easier for you, okay? Whether you want to make for yourself or you want to sell, just making it super easy for you, like having the supplies available, having a clickable supply list so you can just come in and learn right along with us. One of the first steps in my projects is I'm going to green out a base, okay? And that doesn't really change in Christmas time or holiday seasons. I am using this very long pine. Now, there's all kind of rules of design that I teach in design school, and I have my own techniques and tricks that I use as well. But basically, we want to put the greenery in to create the perimeter. And that's what I call it, creating the perimeter. So I'm going to start by breaking this big pick down. Now this is very typical. You're going to take something large and cut it and break it down. I'm doing that right now. Okay, I'm going to break it into two sections to kind of start. And then we'll start to break it down even more from there. But I think sometimes it's easier to work with and kind of look at my shape. So I generally would take my piece and put it up to there and be like, okay, that looks like a good distance. So if I wanted to go up that high, how much stem do I have to leave? I hate picking machines and I don't use them. Nothing personal, picking machine company, but I don't like them. So I'm always, before I make too many cuts, I'm looking at my distance that I need. Okay, I'm weird. I've been doing this so long, I've got a lot of weird things. But I've also sold wreaths for a living. So I didn't just teach classes. I didn't just sell supplies. I actually sold wreaths for a living. So some of my tips and tricks are just because I've sold lots of them. And I had to learn how to do it quickly and how to teach my employees how to make them fast and be able to turn over things fast. So that's why you see here, we're going to do a little measuring before we cut. Okay, so I've got one nice longer piece to come out on the left. All right, so I'm going to put these over to the side, and let's get us one longer piece to go over to the right. So I think I'm going to use these two here so we get the same kind of distance. That might be a little bit longer, but I'm going to trim this one here. And then I'm going to just rotate these. So every design has a transition point, and that's something else I teach in design school. So you have to learn, where is a transition going to occur and how am I going to angle those pieces out? So whenever you're doing your own project, think about that too. How am I going to have these pieces angling out? So I'm going to start here with my longest pieces to go in to set that perimeter. We're going to go into that foam. We've given it a little time to set up. I'm going to come right in and we're going to push those in. Let me scoot this little pot over a little bit and make sure she's in there good. Number one's in. Now I'm going to go on the other side and do the same thing. Okay, give it a little glue. Watch those needles. We don't want to get burned with that glue on them. All right, let's bring this in. There we go. So we got a great start. Now, depending where you're going to put your tree will depend, how much you want to save for the back. I'm going to use mine just flat against a wall and make it for a flat type of design where I don't have to have a lot going in the back. So we're going to work all towards the front. So the next thing we want to do is kind of pop in these pine. We're going to take this pine and kind of cut it down a little. I'm going to cut this into two pieces here. So I get two nice picks from one. You can even do three if you want. It's amazing what you can cut them down. A lot of people don't realize you can come in the middle, you can cut down some long needle pine and make it into a couple of sections, and it still looks super cute. So we're going to do that with all of these real quick. Cut them into 2 or 3 sections because we want to fill this in really nicely. All right, let's do 3 out of this one. Okay, and then we're going to start to kind of fill in a little bit around the edges here. All right, let's bring it in. Push it in right there. There's one kind of coming low. And when you cut them, you might lose a couple needles, and no big deal. Just kind of pull them off to the side. let's bring this one in here. Pretty. Let's go over here on the left. So we're getting some nice coverage. Bring this in. And let's go over on the other side over here with this one. So we get this nice wispy pine. And I love long needle pine. That's really nice quality. Like this one, because then you get this pretty wispy look. And even, I feel like we could probably, this comes out pretty far. We could probably cut and steal a little from these. Just get a little fullness down below. Just take a little out. Like grab a little bit of it. And you'll never even see it gone. Perfect. Okay. Yep, that looks great. I'm going to use these little wispy pieces on the end too. So you can do the pattern you want. We're just working from the center, working out, really watching our transition so we have that clean look. That's something I preach in design school every week. KDS Blue Merinos are like, okay, Kali, we get ya. We get ya. We think we got this. Okay. Now I'm going to put these to the side. We're going to use these to fill in as we keep going in this process. And we're ready to move on to the next step. Before we put any of this in, I want to go ahead and get my bow front and center so that I use my space really wisely in the design. So we're going to make that next. Now this bow is just going to be a freehand bow where we're going to take our ribbon and work with it really simply. I need probably about a 14-inch tail would work fine because I don't need it coming off the base too much. So I'm just going to take that and twist, and I'm going to build my bow up from the back. These are about 5-inch loops. Take it up to your piece. Decide if you want them bigger. I'm good with starting maybe 5.5 would work. Come in. We're going to twist it in the center, and we're going to keep building up. There's a loop on either side. If you want a really simple bow, you can stop there. We're going to go a little bit more. We've got a loop and a loop, and twist it. Come on over. So this is 4 loops so far. If we wanted to stick with that, that's how 4 loops would look. That looks pretty cute. Let's go one more. Let's go one more loop on either side, like a little short one in the middle. That'd be cuter. A little baby one. You're so cute. And twist it. Just keep piling those loops up. You can get the bow maker out. You can make this a whole lot fancier, but I'm just making it really cute and simple. So everybody can do this without having any special equipment. I'm going to have a little bit of floral foam. Okay, you can use a wire. I'm going to use a cable tie, whatever's easiest. I'm going to come down the middle, get some pressure here, and then we're going to fluff this dude up once we have a little pressure to get everybody where we want them going. See how cute and whimsical? I love it. Make sure your twists are tight. If you didn't get them quite tight enough, you don't have it too tight, you can fix that. There it is, a super simple, cute bow. I'm going to take and make a little, add a little floral pin to the back, or you can make one out of a piece of wire. This wire might be a little heavy, so I'm just going to use a regular floral pin. They're like little U-pins like this, and they work great to hold moss. We use them to go in the back of our bow right here because we're going to pin this bow in to the base. Okay, you could also have taken and used a wire and wired it to the tree base. You don't have to have anything too special. I mean, I want you to make this project without stressing about having all the right tools when you first start. Don't worry, just work with what you got. And this one has that little green center, and you know what? That's fine for this design. It matches, it looks fine. It's going to go right in the middle. We're just going to let it go and show, okay? I'm going to come in the back, and now I'm going to add some glue to the back of my floral pin. And one of the reasons we're putting this in first is so we can get into that foam and mount in right here. And I'm going to kind of tuck that around the side. Now you see how cute it is? Isn't that adorable? Now let's take these tails and do something fun with them. I'm just going to dovetail them pretty cute. Kind of let them poke out here. Just make that little V cut, just fold it in half, and just cut up towards the end of the ribbon. And you cut on the fold, so that way you always get that little V, all right? Let those fly out. You can curl them up too, and just have so much fun with the curls. So once that bow is in, we can kind of know where it's going to go. And the whole point of putting that first was so we can put our florals around the edges. So we're going to use this fun piece. And this one we're going to do a little bit differently than normal. Instead of cutting it out in sections, I'm literally going to pull this one down. Like every little wire is going to be separate, because we want to kind of spread it around our design here. I love these snowflakes. And this is one reason I picked them up, because they're glittery, but they have a rustic look too, which goes so good with this tree here. All right, when we get down to this last pine cone, I will take and trim it off because it's a little thicker wire, and throw it down. Don't throw it down. So whenever you trim a bush like that, or you trim it down, you gotta get the tips of the stems neat, because if you don't, you just have glue everywhere and a hot mess. It's a great way to get burned. Usually when you get burned, it's because you're being lazy. Ask me how I know. Because sometimes you're tired and you're like, I don't want to cut that paper off. I don't want to cut that paper. But you do. You have to trim that off and get it neat and clean, okay? So I got my little trash pile sitting over here to the side. I've trimmed all that off, and now, you know, if you need to pull off some paper, pull off some paper. But we broke that down into little sections. And then we're going to divide that up into the pieces that we have. Let me move my berries to the side, but we've got some little branches. We've got some cute pine cones. We have 3 pine cones, and we have 2 little sections of the snowflakes. And the reason we want to break everything down is so that we can set it up equally on our design, and we can use the design principles that I teach in design school. You can use them when you're putting this together. So we're going to come out to the right over here, and we're going to put our first piece. It's a little of the pine cone. Oh, that looks great over here. Pulls in that creamy look. It's got a little glitter. I love it. Now I'm going to come over here on the left with the other side. Bring this in. I just hold my base as I'm putting everybody in. We're going to kind of, how about we have this one kind of come down? I'm big on not things being all matchy. It's okay if they're a little bit different. What's most important is that you get the shape right when you put them in. And that's something I teach in class to help you learn, you know, where every piece is going. But they don't have to be identically matching just because we have it in the center. Now we've got our little white twigs. I'm going to hold on to these for a second with our other greenery. We're going to come back to that in a minute. But I do want to get my snowflakes in. And I'm just going to take my little snowflakes, and we're going to kind of go between the bow here and let them kind of come out and break the plane of that bow. You know how much I love that. Let's have another one on this side. That's super cute. We could totally leave this like this, but I wanted to bring in that touch of the green and the red that's on that star. So we have that in the ribbon, and that's super cute, but we're going to bring in this country berry to do the same thing. So on this one, we're going to take it and we're going to cut it instead of just tear it down, at least to start. We're going to cut a couple of longer pieces. So I'm going to start by cutting it right here to kind of have a longer section going on, and then cut it right here. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 pieces that are a little bit longer. This one we probably will break into separate sections. I'm just going to put it aside for a second. And I want these berries to kind of branch out into the pine. I get really excited about things, we call it breaking the plane of other things, and I don't like things stuffed in. I want them to overlap, and there's a lot of consideration put in when we're like overlaying it. So I'm going to bring it in. We're going to go right here. So think about when you're building your own designs, like think about how am I layering things in rather than just shoving more in. Sometimes less is more with the proper placement. That's why I like to teach you that in design school, and we've been really focusing on that so that we could try to make pieces that are a little less expensive but still look like our customers need to pay us a lot for them. We want to attract the right customer. I'm a big believer in that, and when you do that, it really helps make it easier to do this as a business. See, this looks so pretty, and they're not exactly identical. A little higher, a little lower. You want to close up? Look at that. Isn't that cute in there? I love that. So now we're going to come in, and we're going to take our last couple of berries, and I'm going to just tear these down so they're going to be a little bit shorter. This one could be a little bit longer if you wanted it longer. I'm going to use these kind of towards the base, so we're just going to tear them and then trim them. And this is what I'm talking about, trimming them, get that nasty part off. Yeah, and let's put these in at the base. If you've never done wreath making or crafting as a stress reliever, I would encourage you to give it a try. You know, buy a kit from a creator, and you don't have to go out and invest in a ton of supplies when you get a kit. You can just start with something and see if it's a hobby you like. And then if you start to like it, then you can branch out and do more and experiment with more things. But just try wreath making or floral arranging. It is a fantastic stress reliever, and it is a great hobby. You know, when you want to pick up something new and try something new and something fun that you've never done before. And we're here to support you in your journey. I'm a big believer in crafting for relaxation as well. Okay, we've got our pine that's left. Now, I talked about breaking the plane earlier, and that's what we're going to come in and do now. We're going to bring that greenery from the background to the foreground, and we're going to let that really shine here. We're going to let it shine. Okay, so I cut these out into some more baby pieces, and we're going to tuck these in. But this is looking super. I love it. And I hope you feel like this is something you could try without a whole lot of special anything. You can use a glue gun, guys. You can even just push this all in and not glue it. It would stay, it would be fine. It just wouldn't be permanent. It would wiggle loose, you know, the next year. But if you want to just try it out, you don't need anything except for that foam is the only thing you're going to have to go buy. And you are going to kind of have to glue the foam down because otherwise it wouldn't stay. But you can use your glue gun. All right, I'm going to keep popping this in. I like to add stuff in that bow because that bow needs to be popping. When I start singing, that means I'm excited. Don't knock it till you try it, people. Don't knock it till you try it. And if you're here to troll me, go ahead. Coming on the other side. This is so cute. See, breaking the plane of that bow a little, coming in there, letting it overlap a bit. I love that. Let's go in this way. Oh, popping it in, yes. That one all of a sudden just popped in. Talk about popping in like it. Let me go one more here to the right. And then the only thing left are little white twigs. So let's get those out next. I'm going to pop this one in. Just want to hear it crunch into that foam. I'm just going to hold on to it. There it goes. Perfect. So cute. I love these snowflakes just coming out of the bow. They're so adorable. All right, and the last piece we've got is the twigs. We filled in with the greenery. Now we got our little white twigs left. And let's put these in here. I love twigs. You can do a number of things. You can take and curl them, and I use my finger or a glue stick. You can kind of let them kind of curl out, and that's super cute. Let's put a couple of those in. I'm going to just come down here with the greenery, kind of work wherever there's no white already. And you might just curl the tip, you know, just let it kind of be like, hey, I'm out here at the party. Come on in here. Yeah, let's top. Oh, that looks good. Let's bring some more to the bottom. You got to find the right end. Here it is. Like, what they look, we cleaned them up so good. I couldn't tell which the top or the bottom. I'm going to come down here where this pine is, pop this one in, and hear it crunch or redo it. If you crunch it into that foam with the glue, it'll stay, okay? That's why I'm a big deal about hear the crunch. Hear the crunch. Okay, cute. I'm going to come over here. All right, and then our last one, I'm going to have this one kind of curve out and curl just a little bit, like boop, like it's just starting to curl. See how cute that is with those pops of white? I'm going to let this one come over here, and I'm actually just going to glue that one to that pine so it will be up high. Look how precious. Such a fun project that you can do with your family or just kind of hide in your craft room and make it for yourself. Pop this in your Christmas decorations, slide it in. Your honey bunny will never know that you made it. And when you tell them, hey, look what I got, you could be like, I made it myself, and best of all, and I enjoyed the process. And if you haven't liked, subscribed, and followed, if you've watched to the end of this video, please do that, because we are here to support you in your floral design journey, and I can't wait to inspire you to make your next project. So I'm Colleen, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, Blue Merinos. Go have fun with flowers.